Good day, everyone, and welcome to our live discussion of MSK's packaging systems and end-of-line solutions for the building material industry. As you already know, MSK is a systems manufacturer and integrator that specializes in end-of-line pallet load packaging solutions for a wide variety of industries. Our core offerings include, but are not limited to, pallet stretch and shrink hooding systems, both fully and semi-automatic in nature, palletizing systems, both robotic and non-robotic palletizing cells, complete cold ends for the glass container industry, which includes glass bottle conveyors, palletizers, and a wide range of ancillary equipment, extensive pallet load handling solutions, ranging from standard roller and chain conveyors to more specialized pallet conveyor designs, shuttle car systems, pallet load elevators, pallet stacking systems, and more. And outside of our equipment offerings, we also conduct extensive pallet load packaging comparison testing for customers, and we do this to validate and compare packaging methods against one another. In this discussion, we will focus primarily on our pallet stretch hood and shrink hood packaging systems. So what is stretch hooding and shrink hooding? We're all familiar with pallet stretch wrapping systems, or as we at MSK refer to them, spiral stretch wrapping systems. These are some of the most common pallet load packaging methods utilized, and just about everyone is familiar with them, whether it be standalone turntable stretch wrappers to fully automated and conveyorized pallet wrapping systems. Most of us have seen these. Stretch hooding and shrink hooding systems are less common in North America, but they are technologies that have been around for several decades, and for a large range of applications perform much better than spiral stretch wrapping systems. To the untrained or unfamiliar observer, both technologies, and certainly the end results of both, are very similar. Both offer packaging alternatives to spiral stretch wrapping systems. However, they rarely actually compete directly with spiral stretch wrapping systems. And typically, the applications for which stretch hooding and shrink hooding are best suited are applications for which spiral stretch wrapping just does not fit the bill. The building material industry specifically provides some of the best examples of applications that are really best suited for MSK's pallet packaging technologies. Stretch hooding is the process by which a flexible bag or sleeve is applied over and around a load to create a singular, non-layered pallet load packaging. Shrink hooding is the process by which a thermocontractive bag or sleeve is applied over the load and is then heated in order to shrink the bag around the load to create a singular, non-layered pallet load packaging. So again, to the unfamiliar observer, both stretch hood and shrink hood technologies, and certainly their end effect results, both look very similar. But how do they compare to spiral stretch wrapping? Let's begin with some of the downfalls of spiral stretch wrapping. Spiral stretch wrapping often offers suboptimal pallet load stability, and this is largely due to the fact that the holding forces of this packaging are only in the horizontal direction of the load and in a series of film wrap layers as opposed to one uniform enclosure. And there is no great way for load unitization with the pallet itself. Spiral stretch wrapping only offers four-sided load coverage unless you include an additional top sheet over the load prior to stretch wrapping it. This makes it less than ideal for outside storage and protection from the elements, and even with a top sheet, you still have to contend with the layering of the film, which can allow water penetration. The display effect or the aesthetic look of the load is not particularly appealing, as it is difficult to see the load through the film layering, and barcode reading or label recognition through the film is very difficult, if not impossible. Product deformation can also be a factor. Most spiral stretch wrapping companies boast about the film pre-stretch capabilities, but certain loads cannot handle such forces, and in many cases even would require the use of corner boards or additional packaging materials to protect the load from being crushed or deformed. Anti-theft protection during pallet transport is essentially impossible because anyone could remove product from the pallet and then manually rewrap the load with stretch film and no one would be the wiser. And finally, spiral stretch wrapping systems, even the fastest ones in the market, can be significantly slower than stretch hood or shrink hooding systems. So how does stretch hooding and shrink hooding compare? For one, stretch hooding and shrink hooding offer superior overall load stability because the holding forces are now not only in the horizontal direction, but also in the vertical direction thanks to the full load unitization with the pallet. Stretch hooding and shrink hooding can offer 5 or even 6-sided protection with a single layered cover around the load, making it ideal for outside storage and protection from the elements for all kinds of loads that simply cannot get dirty or wet. The marketing display effect is greatly improved as you now have a single layer packaging which allows you to be able to clearly see the product underneath, which is what MSK refers to as clear view packaging. Labels and barcodes can thus also be more easily recognized and scanned. Additionally, you have the capability of implementing printed films, thus increasing the marketing effect and the value even more. And because the film sizes can be selected specific to the application and loads, the risk of product deformation or requirement for additional packaging materials, such as corner boards, can be reduced or even completely eliminated. All these advantages translate into direct cost savings in the form of reduced transport damages and reduced overall packaging materials. Anti-theft protection is now possible thanks to the 5-sided or even 6-sided enclosure capabilities, which cannot easily be manually replicated without having such a piece of equipment. Some of the other softer but still very real operational advantages of stretch hood and shrink hooding systems are the reduced operator interventions. A single roll of stretch hood or shrink hood film can last upwards of 600 to 800 loads per roll. And in addition, you will have much better inventory control because every hood applied will be the same as the last. Operators do not have the access to change the wrapping pattern in the way they often do with spiral stretch wrapping systems. And lastly, stretch and shrink hooding systems are much faster, being able to reach speeds upwards of 200 loads per hour, and in some applications even 240 to 260 loads per hour. So, for their ability to offer improved load stability, outside storage capabilities and protection from the elements, and enhanced branding and marketability effect, among many other reasons, is what makes stretch hooding and shrink hooding such an ideal solution for the packaging of building materials and the building material industry. Next, let's show you some examples of applications for which stretch hood and shrink hooding packaging are the ideal solution.